Chapter 11. The whole house shook with one quick, loud thwack. I ran out to the living room with Celie on my heels. It was dark, and I didn't see Kayla sitting there in the hall playing with the cars and Cricket's shoebox. I ran right into her, almost dropping the puppy. Celie plowed into the back of me and screamed. Kayla fell flat to the floor, squashing the little box. She started wailing. I grabbed a hold of Kayla by one arm and pulled her off the floor. It's okay. It's okay, Kayla. It's okay. I kept saying in huffs of breath, trying to calm her down. It wasn't working, though, because I was as close as I've ever been to a full-blown panic myself. Everyone was shouting and running around. The room was spooky with candles flickering and shadows running across the ceiling. Catherine, Daddy shouted, get the children and take them to our room. Stay away from the windows. Come on, y'all. You heard your daddy. Mama was scooping up babies and still managed to grab a hold of Celie's hand. A bright white light streaked through the checkered curtains and poured into the room. In that split second, I seen Mima's face, her mouth wide open and her eyes all bugged out. The air got sucked out of me. An explosion of thunder rattled the whole house. I screamed and covered my ears. Another bolt of lightning lit up the shadowy room. There it was again, that look on Mima's face. A cry that started in my belly flew out my mouth, blending in with the screams of the wind. Cold, prickly shivers ran up my back and down my arms. A sour taste burned in the back of my throat. Daddy had his arm around Mima and led her off to the bedroom to be with Mama and the kids. I didn't want to see her looking that way, all full of fright. My breathing was coming fast and hard. My heart raced almost as fast as my brain. Another clap of thunder. The creaky, broken screen door made one last loud slap against the house before I heard it rip right off, flying to who knows where. The house moved beneath my feet. Daddy! I'm here, baby! The lightning flashed, and there he was. My daddy was right there, just on the other side of Mima's TV, watching chair. The wind shook the windows like an airplane was fixing to land on our roof. Even with Mima and the kids all up in the bedroom, I could still hear them crying and screaming and begging Mama to make it stop. Uncle T-Bone was huddled on the couch with his arm wrapped around Miss. She was wailing louder than the kids in the bedroom, waving the only flashlight in the room every which way. More lightning, more thunder. The constant sound of rain dumping down in buckets so hard it sounded like we might as well have been standing up under a waterfall. I didn't even realize I was holding on to Georgie till he screamed in my ear. It was a high-pitched scream that sent terror running through me. He covered his head with his hands. I dug my fingers deep into his arm and screamed with him. It wasn't no normal thunderstorm. The sky had fell out and the world was ending. Daddy stood by the front window and looked out. He shook his head back and forth. He took off his glasses. His right hand came up and held the top of his head and then slid down. He rubbed his eyes. He put his glasses back on. Then his hands fell heavy to his sides. Daddy looked straight up at the ceiling and squeezed his eyes shut. In a whispered cry, he said, "Protect us, sweet Jesus." A tree branch crashed through the big window and knocked Daddy to the floor.